You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves.
When a movie like Oppenheimer is created, there are quite a few challenges that must be dealt with. Firstly, a project based on a controversial yet decisive moment in human history needs to be handled carefully in an unbiased and factual manner. Secondly, historical accuracy can become tricky, especially with some of the events that are mysterious or debatable in nature. The genius that he is, Christopher Nolan has aced the challenges, but the narrative on a key character named Jean Tatlock, played by Florence Pugh, has stirred up a few debates regarding the accuracy. In this video, we will try to elucidate further on this as we clarify the real and real-life differences and how perfect her depiction is in the movie. Who is Jean Tatlock and why is she such an important character in Oppenheimer's life? Jean Tatlock was a psychiatrist and physician, but it was her association with the Communist Party of the United States of America that put her on the FBI watch list. Her romantic relationship with J. Robert Oppenheimer caused quite a controversy, and the latter was infamously dragged into some serious allegations regarding him being sympathetic towards the communist cause. The duo first met in 1936 when Jean Tatlock was a graduate student. At the time, Oppenheimer was a professor of physics at Berkeley, and he was quite the ladies' man. His landlady, who happened to be a member of the Communist Party, introduced the two, and it wasn't long before the two indulged in a passionate relationship. She is often regarded as the one who introduced Oppenheimer to radical politics during the late 1930s, and such speculations put them both on the FBI radar. It is believed that she turned down Oppenheimer's proposal a couple of times, but their affair continued nevertheless. Later, it was speculated and debated if the couple continued to see each other even after Oppenheimer got married to Kitty Harrison in 1940. Evidence suggests that they met a few times after his marriage, and his association with Jean Tatlock came back to haunt him during a security hearing against him. He was quick to clarify that the relationship was more about the individuals than political ideologies, but many viewed their affair as the event that shaped Oppenheimer's views and thoughts. Unfortunately, what started as a passionate bond between the two ended in a great tragedy when Jean Tatlock reportedly committed suicide on 5th January 1944. She was suffering from clinical depression, and she was found dead in a bathroom with her head submerged in the bathtub. Her father even found an unsigned suicide note, but the death became a subject of controversy because of several allegations suggesting a conspiracy to end her life. Oppenheimer was devastated by the news, and he felt the guilt of not being there with her during her toughest moments because of work commitments on the Manhattan Project. Her story arc is captured in the movie with adequate importance, but the cause of her death has been left unanswered. Florence Pugh, who played the role, did a fabulous job in this short but impactful role, and her chemistry with Killian, who plays the titular protagonist, became one of the talking points of the movie. Why does the movie keep her death open-ended? One might wonder why a movie that is so well researched and well made skipped on the accurate details about Jean Tatlock's death in real life. There can be various reasons behind the open-ended narrative, and almost all of them have something to do with the controversial nature of her death. While it was officially declared a suicide, there are conspiracy theories that suggest a possibility where she was murdered. Jean Tatlock could have been killed in a well-planned operation because of her communist ties and even her relationship with Robert Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan may have simply acknowledged the mystery around her death to avoid giving a definitive answer. More importantly, the movie did a terrific job in capturing the heartbreaking impact that her death had on Oppenheimer, who was burdened with an intense sense of guilt. There are some critics who believe that the suicidal angle was avoided so as to not expose the audience to something morbid, but we don't buy that explanation because Nolan would certainly not hold back if he felt it was important. The open-ended narrative helps the movie retain the mystery behind Jean Tatlock, and it certainly has the desired impact on the audience as well. Why the lovemaking scene between Killian and Florence Pugh caused such a buzz? Christopher Nolan spared no efforts in highlighting the impact of the relationship between Oppenheimer and Jean Tatlock on the former's life. While capturing that passionate romance, the director also filmed one of his rare lovemaking sequences where Killian Murphy and Florence Pugh, the actors playing the roles, can be seen going at it. The scene created quite a buzz around it because of how bizarre the sequence was. Jean Tatlock and Oppenheimer are engaged in a passionate moment, and in the middle of the act, she pauses after a book on the shelf attracts her attention. It is the Bhagavad Gita, a Hindu scripture which has quite an impact on Oppenheimer's life and views. While she is still on top of him, Tatlock has Oppenheimer read out a line, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," which is famously uttered by Oppenheimer during a TV broadcast. It does come off as clumsy, and some people also claim about the scene hurting religious sentiments. If anything, the lovemaking sequence doesn't add up to much in terms of the narrative, and it ends up being unintentionally funny. Yes, it does establish the intellect involved in the passionate affair between the two, but there could have been a better portrayal than this quirky little moment.
Cure will ensure a peace mankind has never seen.
A few final words. It is not possible for a movie like Oppenheimer not to have a few talking points. From certain character depictions to the theme of the narrative, people have been interpreting things in different ways, which is actually the desired result for a project like this. If you haven't watched the movie already, head out for the theater experience of this cinematic marvel. Do let us know in the comments below about your thoughts on this controversial character and her impact on Oppenheimer's life. Also tell us what you think about Florence Pugh's performance in the movie.